The 4-page. Letter
Yes, sir.
4.
You feel all right? Good to see you. You do? You're not an old man yet. You
That's all one.
Because who do you report in?
Sorry, color.
Right.
Good evening, everyone. It's 5:05. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Just before we jump into that, safe places in this building in case of weather are the bathrooms. And so we are right across from the bathrooms in case of severe weather. We go directly across the hall to the bathrooms. That is the safe place for this building. First order of business is to approve those minutes for the March 26, 2026 meeting.
That was the February, I see, March minutes.
I was not here, so. Did you grab me a sec too?
I have the agenda. Was it? Oh, this is the new.
That's okay. I wasn't here, so I don't know anything about it. Really on the video is really scary. You just sat down.
The YouTube is always delayed at least a minute, so I can switch over to.
No, it's fine. It was
to
just
Teams.
a little like, woo. It's just been that week.
Our thoughts on approving those minutes, still looking over them.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Minutes, have been approved. We have no training presentation at this time. Public agenda. I did look at the list. No one has signed up. Vincent is shaking his head. No, that is unique. All right. We continue to move on with our agenda, our oath of office.
We can if the new members are here.
Oh, just me.
The renewals.
I gotta renew.
I'm a renewal.
One here has to renew, right? No, me. Who else has?
I think everybody renews.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, we're all.
According to the list that I pulled a few days ago.
Junior piece, he works over at West High, so I left probably a little bit before I think he's gonna come over, but security has to manage during bad weather, so they have to help administration. So I don't know if he's gonna get here quick enough or not, but he's taking care of.
Not yet.
The first two pages I'll need for you to sign. That's your acceptance. And then yes, please go ahead and sign it now. The third page is just yours to keep. Greg is not here.
Not yet.
Robert. Michelle.
But I was after you, so. Thank you. I think you signed it.
We're not, that's what, oh, this is just something I have to swear on a renewal. Ask us to.
Oh, no, you don't need to put that part out. Just sign both this page.
Done deal.
All right, if you'll raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I
Oh,
say
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
name.
Solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
Solemnly swear that I will
support
support
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Wichita Citizens Review Board
of the Wichita Citizens Review Board
for the city of Wichita, Kansas.
for the city of Wichita, Kansas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
No, I still have mine. Sorry. No, you're
Yeah,
good.
that's
Thank you, Brent.
Junior just walked in.
Have to stand up front.
He was doing it.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
looking
was
at
he
my
with
meeting.
her?
Yeah,
Oh,
he got, he came in right as.
No, we can do yours after if you'd
Okay,
like.
good. It's fine. You got like 90% of it. I'll reread the first part.
He should just do it right now all by himself.
I think you should.
If Robert comes in, we can do his too.
He said he's not making it tonight.
Oh, is he not? And Sarah, we did hers online. She's in a class. I think she said she has to teach a class or something this month. So she's not here this time, but she will be next month.
All right. We continue to move forward, look over those cases that we have, any cases that we want to take a closer look at, cases that we want to review. Be good. How many cases do we have backlogged so far? We have a list somewhere, am I missing it?
I just realized I forgot to send that for your packet.
Okay,
That's why. I can pull it up here.
okay, just wanna keep grab of it.
Yeah, usually it's.
Sorry about that.
There's nothing that I was trying to add, but I did notice 26 PSB 0698, the first one, as well as 26 PSB 0955. And then the first one on the second page, 26 PSB 1319, we're all dealing with failing to do the complaint was about failing to do a complete and thorough investigation. I'm not suggesting that I want to add that tonight, but I do want to just publicly say that if it persists, I think it may be worth the board taking a look into at least one of the cases that comes up to figure out what might be the complaint that caused the complaint. PSB 0698. Gotcha.
Yeah, 15.
15. All right.
My only comment on that would be is I think that that's probably one we see fairly. And, you know, you think about the fact that the number of investigations that take place and so forth. I don't know that that necessarily red flags for me in the sense of, you know, if there were 12 of them on this page, like that, you know, because you've got different divisions, all supervised by different folks. Obviously, they're all part of the same department, but know, we don't know enough here to know whether it's the same detective or the same unit, same, what's the proper term?
Yeah, you're right. Same detective, same unit, same
Yeah,
division,
I mean, if
same
it's-
bureau.
If it's the, you know, auto theft unit or division, and that's consistent, and, you know, and so that might be something that we would have some information on something. Is there a situation where we're getting, you know?
And I
more
know,
than that
I know we're
average?
gonna discuss this later, but I know Stephanie had made mention last meeting that we don't know which officers might be found in multiple of these cases, or if not, if it's the first one. However, you bring up a good point. Is there any way that we can get information on maybe which division or which bureau without it diving deeper into the specific? Like if we find that there's a pattern of this coming from the South Bureau, or if there's a pattern of this coming from the Auto Division, et cetera, is there a way to actually maybe hone in on that?
I don't know if the system will automatically do that for me.
Okay.
We've done it before.
Maybe.
We've asked that before everyone here was on the board. And we got some mixed reviews back, I do remember, because the more you dig into it, then you can identify officers. And so I think before they told us, we almost could not. But just to know, like, without without knowing specific officers, the bureau will be great. Is there more use of force here and there? Has this particular officer had several uses of forces over his 15-year career? Is it something that happens every couple of years? That would be something that would be beneficial to everyone here to know.
My gut says I could probably figure the bureau out. I may be able to filter in the system to do that. Some of the other stuff would require me to dive into each one of the cases and then dive into each one of the officers.
So like, let's take general duty responsibilities. Could we take a test drive at that? You know, just take a test drive at it, and not nothing like maybe official, but maybe like our next meeting, you can say, hey, general duties, there were several reports of general duty responsibility, whatever the case may be. And there was 10 of them and 6 of them happened at patrol, or 7 of them, you know, something like that. I'm not making a formal request. I'm just saying that that's something we may be able to look into like that. That'd be cool.
Or even more specific, if you were gonna go, I mean, general duty could be either North Bureau or whatever, but we're also, what we're talking about here was the detectives in the different detective units, which really is more of a, I mean, it's a different subset, if you will. I mean,
Yeah, I guess my suggestion is let me get in there and see what I can filter. We may do it, I just don't know. So let me get in there. I'll go through and look at some that's like, hey, there's 3 of them on the sheet or something, and see what I can, if I can filter.
I'm gonna ask a question I probably was embarrassed to ask back with my background, but I should know what I probably either did or I forgot. But it may be changed. If there's a north side auto theft and a south side auto theft, and both of those end up going to detectives, they go downtown to the same supervisor, right?
To the same supervisor, yes.
Okay, and the detectives within that unit, do they specialize on areas of town then?
No.
So they could, the same detective could get both those cases
Correct.
from the North and South Bureau or from the East and West Bureau. So when we talk about the 4 bureaus, that's one thing, that's street officers for the most part, correct? Whereas when we talk about investigations, then we're talking about different divisions. What used to be, I don't know if they're still on the 6th floor top.
Yeah, the only reason I'm hesitant to say it can do it is because this system in professional standards is its own secured system. Only professional standards and myself have access to this system. So when a detective transfers from auto theft to burglary, it doesn't update this system because it's not connected, because other people can't view this system. So even if it does filter auto theft, it doesn't mean that persons even there anymore, because someone would literally have to go back in every time one of our 1,000 employees transfer and update the systems independently. So it may filter it. How reliable is it to say you worked at that section at that time, or where are you now?
And again, I'm looking at it, at least reading what I thought Junior was originally getting at is that, is there a problem with a particular unit, like I say, auto theft or homicide or, burglary? And so that would, if we see that there's a pattern there where that seems to be where we're getting most of the complaints is people because they have burglary complaints and they're not getting satisfaction. That's what you're looking to know is what
I think both. I think both would be beneficial if they're happening in one at a certain bureaus, but also, as you had mentioned, units as well.
All right, well, let's see what we come up with.
Yeah, I'll get in there and see.
Any cases that we might want to put on for review? If not,
Not necessarily from this list, but I do want to bring up the email that Joe sent us this morning. It was William W. Bridge III's very lengthy PDF. The number that he had put in there was case number 26C021745, which didn't quite seem to me to be a PSB case, which is the case. Okay, I see. Greg shaking his head.
Yes, I was trying to do a quick review of this between work and getting here. I didn't see a PSB case either.
Yeah.
And I know they have asked for a detailed description of when we plan to review this. And whatnot found on page 2 of it, but I don't even know, and maybe Joe can help me out with this, but I don't know if there's a best way to be able to stay in regular contact with Mr. William.
You did provide an email earlier.
Yes, I did see that. However, is this individual incarcerated? No. You said this came in federal mail?
It was sent Federal Express, so it was sent overnight.
Oh, I see, okay. I think additionally, so we can't move forward without a PSB number, to my knowledge, unless the officers are able, unless Captain Cooley and his team is able to find a PSB that's related to this specific case number. Honestly, I wish all citizens' requests could come in a detailed document so we had the details, but
Well, I think that's a piece of what we might talk about with the proposal from
yes.
last month.
Yes. I don't know if that answers your question, Josh, and I don't know if Captain Cooley can add any extra insight there, if we can find a PSB tied with this case number.
I would have to get in there and look.
Something maybe for next month, but didn't want to raise it in this space now, so we have it on our radar.
But that might be something to email him back and ask for the PSB. I think that they probably have the duty to have that PSB.
Yeah.
And he appears to be attention detailed, and we'll probably be able to produce it if it's
Well,
available.
but I also wasn't sure if this, I saw his email, however, later on in the documents, he was listed almost as if somebody was doing the speaking for him. So I wasn't sure if there was a better point. I would reach out, and I still plan to, with the board's consent. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't notice, that nobody else noticed any other form of contacting the citizen.
all right, got that notated. Any other cases as we move right along? All right, great. Let's go to our next agenda item, which would be policy review, animal control policies provided by Josh on today.
I emailed these earlier today. Apologies, I had forgotten to send them sooner. But basically summarizing and writing what was shared at last month's meeting, encouraging WPD and Wichita Animal Services to develop policies and procedures to ensure that service animals are not euthanized or adopted out, especially while an animal's owner is having a mental health crisis, to ensure congruence between animal custody and return policies, and personal property policies, particularly for individuals in jail, and work with aligned organizations and shelters to resolve past differences and focus on animal well-being. So those were the recommendations that I think myself and then also Vince shared at our last meeting. And so add that to a formal recommendation to bring to a vote if that all sounds good. And Vince, did I cover your bases as well? Okay.
Is that a motion?
I think I'm gonna, yeah, let's call it. I'm dicey on when we do motions for recommendations and when we just say things and they're taken, but let's call it a motion.
So. I have to word it correctly.
It would probably just be a recommendation. What's the action item that you want? I mean,
They're reviewing the policy, the recommendation.
the recommendation would be that we would review the policy because that's what we have control over.
So we recommend,
Having reviewed the existing policy, as the policy is updated, but this is taken into consideration.
Yeah, I think that could be.
so this is a review board, recommend after having already gone through the existing policy, we recommend wanna make sure-
An update to the
an
policy.
update to the policy
To include,
to include, do
Uh,
I have to say all this, right? I have to speak all of this, or? I wanna make sure I'm doing things correct.
the items in the email that was sent to the Citizens Review Board earlier today.
Did she get that? Did Ms. Joe get that?
Ms. Joe, did you catch all of that?
Did you get?
Yeah, you want the WPD to, the update of the policy?
No, after we've already, Brother Josh, go ahead and it sounds better coming from you.
I don't know if it does. After the Citizens Review Board reviewed existing animal control policies, our recommendation to WPD and Wichita Animal Services is to consider the proposed recommendations in their upcoming review of animal control policies. And then we can pull from the email that was sent. I can also read it off again as well for the minutes.
Is that something that we all must agree on to vote, or we can just recommend and keep moving? Great. I just wanna make sure we're clear, not that I don't wanna get in trouble.
I might add discussion, Mr. Chair, if that's okay.
Go ahead, sir.
I still stand by some comments I made last month. I do agree with reviewing the policies that citizens have brought forth. However, I'm still a little eerie with WPD already having in the works, they're trying to match their policies with the national database or whatever it's called. I'm still a little eerie on us utilizing our time to review those policies that are already going to be changed and updated. I don't want to take that off of our plate. I just want to make sure that and I know these are recommendations and the Wichita Police Department does not have to accept these recommendations. It just concerns me that we might get in the way of their progress if they're already changing something because we don't know the criteria that they have to meet in order to match that data, that national database. So that is just the comments I wanted to restate tonight.
Well, I'd like to follow up on that in the sense of, what's down here on Josh's email, I don't have any fundamental problems with. In fact, I agree with most of it. But I understand we're just encouraging, but like using the word ensure that service animals are not euthanized or adopted out, especially while an animal's owner is having a mental health crisis. And I think if that's just for a few days, that may be reasonable. But I think that once you get, if somebody has a mental health crisis and it lasts quite a while, that puts the animal control folks in a real spot if they can't adopt out or euthanize that animal. So that's, and I think we need to I'd like to hear some input from the police department as far as either this month or next month, as far as their thoughts on this before I would necessarily go along with this. I mean, we've heard the one side, but there may be reasons why these things aren't particularly, and maybe they can do that at the end. We're just at this point saying, we're encouraging them, which I think that's okay, but I guess my point would be is to at least look at this, and then if there are reasons why that doesn't make sense, to let us know. The rest of it is general enough that I don't have a problem.
I mean, I do think that as this recommendation won't be adopted verbatim, this will run through legal and they'll be like, no, we can't say insure. That's a big no-no. And so I understand not wanting it in ours, but I also trust that legal would refine to fit their needs. Including, when the burden becomes unbearable. The recommendation was made on a case that was brought before us where a woman, I believe the time to claim an animal was 7 days, but she was on a 10-day psychiatric hold. And so when she got out, her foster service animal had been adopted out.
The other concern is that the police have no right to that patient's medical records or information, and so they won't know what's occurred. They may know that they drop her off at a facility that provides mental health care.
Yeah.
But the fact that she gets mental health care or where he or she has been transferred to will not be knowledge that the police would have.
Yeah.
And so there's no way, I think it's more about a timeline or a frame. And unfortunately, sometimes mental health can take 30 or more days.
Absolutely.
It's one of the great tragedies of our system is that when people get arrested and they get put in custody, they may actually have a job. They may have responsibility to children, and we put them in jail, and sometimes we have to put them in jail, but everything else falls apart. And then when they get out, they don't have a job. They don't have a place to stay. Their stuff's gone. They don't know where the kids are. I mean, I can start screaming about that before too long, and I won't.
But I do like trying to make sure that we give citizens in Wichita a fair opportunity to get their animal back. And I think if that's our ask from the police, that's reasonable, and they can do their best. It won't happen for every case.
Right. I've had my run-ins with animal control. Dog gets loose, and so time period sometimes can be convoluted. Because I've had this experience where my son's dog got loose, and they went ahead and neutered him within 24 hours. You're supposed to wait 3 days. So it was a lot. So I understand where you're coming from, people wanting their animals back, and I get that. So if our ask is, again, reasonable amount of time, what is that reasonable amount of time and things of that nature? So absolutely. So if we're gonna let this recommendation run through legal, I guess that's what I'm hearing. What's the pleasure of everyone? We're gonna move forward with it, let it go through legal, come back, have some rebuttals, or whatever the case could be. Is that the feeling of the group today?
Nothing we say is ironclad.
Yeah, great. So great. So I think we're good there. Have a discussion on, did you have anything? Because I'm supposed to make sure.
I appreciate that, and for this one, I will say, this is the best effort by flawed human beings to see what we can't do to reduce some things. One thing I'd say to your situation, I had a very nice animal services officer going through my neighborhood in their efficient vehicle, and that woman said, my goal is to reunite pets with their families. And first thing I told my next door neighbor, get all 4 of yours chipped right away. And she says, they will not go to doggy jail. I will take them directly home. We can worry about the paperwork of dog at large later. She says, my goal is to reunite. So we all need to do our part to encourage everybody, get the rabies shot, get the license, get the chip.
Yep.
And that will be a whole lot less accidentals. And we can work on this. I think you guys have a great start towards getting where we need to go.
Great. Thank you, sir. Anyone else? I don't want to limit anyone. Keep moving. Great. So let's discuss the case review process, the number of cases, whether it's to require videos, things of that nature, how we're reviewing cases. Let's talk about that at this moment.
So I think a piece of this came from the proposal that I brought forward last month. So everyone had a printed copy at our last meeting, and then it was emailed out on April 15th. And a piece of it is finding out, I think, what we need, and then also allowing the police officers an appropriate use of their time. They're often preparing without knowing what a citizen's going to bring forward. I don't know how that process looks, whether or not it's a form that maybe citizens fill out. So prior to the case coming, there's like an explanation of what they want that might include a review box on why they're requesting it, PSB number, contact information and categories on a request and what potential outcomes might or might not be available. I'm just bringing this forward because I know that we have an officer who spends an inordinate amount of time, sometimes 40 hours between our meetings preparing, and sometimes we use none of the information that was collected. And I would be frustrated at my job if that
Can you repeat that again? That doesn't occur away.
My question on here was, is this for the Citizens Review Board as information, or is this what would be posted for citizens? It's internal. Okay. And so that, the document created was just information for you guys to know. The ask really is either that we develop a form or the citizen comes in and speaks, and then the next month, the officers would give us the information. The first month, we could ask for what we think we want, and
So
the
that
second
would
month.
probably
we
be
present.
like another, so that's gonna be created
Yeah.
based on kind of what's
And
on
then
here.
Junior brought up a point that he may not be able to recall. I think that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, from month to month. And so I thought maybe the form then, where citizens say, here's my concern.
I like the form.
I did.
I concur. I think a form would be a phenomenal idea, especially, I mean, every organization basically these days has a form that you have to fill out to do anything, right? No matter how tedious it might be. And I think making sure to include, which we can probably discuss this later after it's been approved, including, what's it called, the PSB number, and I would say a brief description of what the PSB number is about. And then,
Why they're bringing the complaint forward.
yeah, I was trying to also think about confirming like some type of language on there that says your request will be reviewed in this upcoming month. Will you be available? But I know that's a little tricky.
Yeah.
Given that we don't meet every month sometimes for whatever given reason or whatnot. But just knowing if they could
Be
be.
reviewed within the next 3 months and somebody
Yeah.
will contact you.
Yeah, and seeing if they'd have, I guess, any type of interest in being in person or
Okay.
not, so that we know if we can advance with the police department or if we need to wait to find a date that they can be available to be in person.
So when a citizen comes to City Hall or calls City Hall, calls, I call it internal affairs, we call it Professional Standards Bureau, correct? When they call, someone's taking down their information or they're typing it in. The reason I ask this is because if maybe we can get a redacted kind of report, maybe, I don't know, just asking, get a redacted summary directly from the citizen, right? Because we get redacted information from you all, right, that you all prepare. Is that how it normally goes?
I mean, part of what you're saying, yes, I guess what you're wanting, so if a citizen is requesting,
A review of something that's taking place,
you're wanting a redacted of what they reported
yeah,
to us prior to them coming and speaking.
yes. I mean, the reason I say that is because if they give it to us if we get it from them in their words, it kind of gives us a feel for the situation. We don't even know their name, maybe right off the bat or whatever the case may be. I've been thinking about that. That's the only reason I asked. If it's something nobody else wants to do, we don't have to.
Well, I think what I'm hearing is you guys are all saying the same thing with that, is that if you're wanting a redacted, then that is,
Pretty much what
I
you
gotta
already
go
do.
in and do work on that to redact it. If it's a phone recording,
Cause you guys type,
yeah,
You guys
sometimes
type
those are
out-
lengthy, so that's why in executive session you'll get very right.
understood.
If you're asking them to fill out some form of basically, what are you asking, what's your goal, what do you want the board to accomplish?
Right.
That's probably a better
So Mr.
direction for you guys than for me to try and sum up a 40 or an hour long phone call.
So if we come up with that form, then that form could be given to, that would be awesome. I think that would be awesome. Anyway,
I'm done with it.
You had a chance to review it, because you're the one who typically presents. Was there any suggestions you had after reading that, or thoughts you have? for
No, I
this?
think you guys are on the right path. And I understand the delay of, they come in 1 month and then there's another month. Well, I mean, what were all their details of the last month? I'm gonna have the exact same issue going back. If I don't go back tomorrow and do it, then now I'm trying to also remember to then hit all their points also. So if there is some guidance of what they're actually wanting, if we stay with presenting on that same day, if I know ahead of time items that they're gonna bring in front of you, I can make sure that if those things are available, the clips are available, the documents available, whatever, I can go look for that ahead of time. Instead of, if they mention that, we didn't fill out a document, but I don't know that, and we're here that night. Now I gotta bring that the next month to you, because I didn't know that was part of what they were saying.
Start.
I kind of like the idea of the document because things may have changed too. Because when they file the original, if they file something or call, they may have one complaint, and we've seen it happen before. Or it's just like the one was referred to here, was sent out last day or so. I mean, there was a lot of information about being unhappy about the investigation. But ultimately, it seemed like the concern had to do with one specific point, and that was that they didn't get back something that they thought they should have gotten back. And that somehow the officer was, I'll try not to get too much into the details of that, but the officer didn't act appropriately when he told the alleged, the alleged respondent, I'll call him, that they should do something, or
Is this
we don't know if
bag
that
of
happened.
laundry or something? Is this the one you?
No, I'm talking about, it has to do with cell phone,
Hmm.
and where the cell phone, what the officer told the alleged perpetrator to do or not do with the cell phone. Okay, so ultimately, I think putting it on the citizen to give us their fresh perspective, as long as it's not too many pages long, give them the opportunity to give us whatever detail they want to, and then, as you said, make sure that we know, and we want to include it in there, we can't change what's the decision's already been made, but what would you like us to, do about this? And again, even a lot of times then they're gonna say something we can't do, but at least.
I think that'll help
Just have
clarify
check
what we
boxes.
can and can't do. Yeah, that's why I say check boxes, because I think people come in here and they're like, oh, I want you to overturn the, I don't know, chief's decision on what happened with this officer.
Yeah.
And we're not
That was-
personnel, we're not HR, we don't do that.
That was included in the one that Joe had sent us earlier today, like reopening the case and whatnot, which is again, things we don't do. So I think as long as there's some type of language also on that document that clearly describes the width of our power, right? Or our authority, that would be very beneficial. I'm not a tech savvy, so I would never tell anybody how to word or phrase anything on a website. However, I think as we move into this day and age, a form would be easily accessible. It's already on the website because they already have to go on the website to find the email, right? Unless they take the pamphlet. But they know, and we can use the CRB email. So we receive all of the responses. Everybody already has access to that document.
I'm not sure what technical guidelines there are. Is there somebody in City Hall, and maybe this is a Joe question, who could talk about like a website that would,
So that's probably, Zach, I don't know if you want to hop in, but if we created a document through SharePoint, put basically the link on the digital, on the website, or the flyer that they get, all they got to do is click on it at that point, fill it out, right? And we can direct it where it goes. I mean,
The problem is City Comms manages their website,
but all we got to do is put a link to their form they're going to create.
right? But if they want the form to automatically be sent to their email, that's something that the police department wouldn't have the ability to do.
Is there a better route that you would suggest?
city comms takes care of your guys' portion of the website. I think Tyler takes care of that. But building a form isn't a difficult ask, as long as you guys know what you want on the form.
So we could develop a prototype and.
It's just getting them to link it so that hitting submit automatically sends an email to the CRB group.
Yeah.
So that
Well, you could have it sent to the group, or you could have it sent to me, to the city clerk's office, and then we give you the form. We assemble it and give it to the group, or give it to the secretary, or however you decide you want to do it.
How about if I start making a form and we go from there? Let's decide what we want and then decide where it lives and how it looks.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I don't know if you want to just receive them as they come in, or if you want them all grouped. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to just like get them as they come in.
And I might propose we go back to some kind of a subcommittee type thing like we did before, where maybe those go to 2 or 3 members who then review them. And maybe even like one subcommittee member could be responsible each month to say, you know, we're not gonna get that many, so here's what we got last month, you know, and briefly, this is the description if there's questions. My biggest complaint about this board has been the inability to have any idea what cases we should look at or not look at. There's so little information, and so I do like where we're headed and where the recommendations headed here, and so if we did the form, if we get that one figured out, then I might throw the idea out again about having the chair appoint 2 or 3 people and have them, you know, either each of them get so many a month, or again, I don't think we're talking about more than a couple, 3, are we, generally?
Joe, did I hear that you're willing to help me make the form?
I will be glad to help and look, I can do that, yeah.
if I might, Gregory brought up pamphlet, which we've been talking about updating since I joined the board probably over a year ago. And so I wonder if this doesn't need to be a larger subcommittee focused on updating our language and templates and outreach materials, including the development of a form.
So we had 5 citizens request review last year in 25.
Okay, so it's not that many.
I had 2 things that I think, one, I don't know if it goes on here or on that form. I didn't think it was productive to have the citizen share and open, you know, last time. And then we went into, and then the same story came back in closed session. So to me, it should just always be closed session, or I don't know, but it shouldn't be both, because that was just a repeat. And I would think the form would kind of talk like, what is the background of the case, I was thinking, or the background of the situation, maybe not the case. And then what are specific concerns of the complainant? So, you know, what's your ask? Someone had said, so.
And to that point, I've tried to be very detailed in my emails, letting them know like we do move into executive session, which will therefore be and how executive session flows for the CRB. However, people get so confused. They sign up for public session or public comments and use that as an opportunity. I guess my only other concern is maybe if we have a citizen, excuse me, sorry, thank you. If we have a citizen present, knowing that we have a citizen present, maybe try to move executive session to the forefront of the, or to the front of the meeting so that we're not prolonging their time, but also letting them know that they won't have to speak at both. I don't know if that's a possibility, but I think that would also eliminate that dual speaking. Especially if it's only, I don't want to say only, but it was per Captain Cooley, only 5 people last year for 2025. So it's not as if we're going to have to move it every single time, but.
Well, I think if Stephanie and I can work together, I'll try to come up with a form for the next month or so.
Little
and then we'll
subcommittee,
move
yep.
Forward after that.
Have a subcommittee, just you 2, or would you like to have 3?
Somebody else wants to join?
Josh, you in?
Sure.
God bless your heart.
All right.
There we go.
I do want to ask is there a preference of type of form that the city uses? You guys mentioned the SharePoint. I wasn't sure if, like, I just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to use or try to get everything on one form and you guys are.
We'll make the content
Oh,
and
okay.
then the delivery of the content will be decided.
SharePoint is just a Microsoft product.
Oh, okay,
So if you
okay.
just make a form in Word, like, it's super easy.
Okay.
Before we move off the topic, I did wanna, is it perhaps, and maybe this is one suggestion for Captain Cooley, but is it possible for, let me back up. My wife runs a sales team, they use AI transcriptions for phones all the time. You can have your thoughts about AI, I certainly have them, but for phone calls, they're very good at creating transcriptions and summaries of it. Is it possible that PSB could use those in there?
Oh, security.
Yeah,
Well,
so
some AI, so like my company has an AI system that doesn't communicate with the broader Google Gemini, so everything's internal. There are ways to set it up that it is secure.
A lot of them train their models on it though, even if it's internally.
Ours does not.
You're really careful.
So we don't use AI for any of that. We outsource that to a transcription. And then transcribes those. It's the same with our interviews that we do. I mean, those are hour-long interviews of, he said this, he said this, I said this. And so we outsource, and you're talking a lot of interviews. So we outsource all those to get typed up.
Yeah.
But not every phone complaint, most of them, don't get sent out and typed up because the complaint is, usually it's a 40-minute phone call with a complaint that's focused on this.
Right.
So then they start investigating the nexus of what the complaint is. As opposed to typing up the entire conversation.
The other item I wanted to bring up, and I believe Faith mentioned this in our last meeting, and actually my council members brought it up a couple of times, but I think there's a staff allocation for a staff member to support the Citizens Review Board. And I believe that is still the case, and
That's true.
That's true.
Never mind then. I was under the impression it wasn't a whole additional person that could go into the database and lighten your load a little bit.
No, that database is locked down. Deputy chiefs, chief, they don't have access to it. It is a true professional standards, private database. The only reason I got access is through you all. That's it. So if I ever leave
We're
the board,
sorry
I
about
lose my
that.
access, so.
Good to go? All right, let's move forward, you all. PPMC documents from Wichita State.
Yeah, so I did hear back from LaShonda at PPMC, and she doesn't need anything further from us. I thought maybe she would need to rewrite it or file or whatever. So the documents you guys created, the edits that we submitted, that you guys reviewed, she's good to go. It's basically just your board adopting all those documents at this point, and then we get them.
Did we not adopt them?
All but mine, because we thought PPMC was going to file it and do their own spin, but
Okay.
she emailed yesterday and said there's nothing she needs to do with it, so.
Okay.
So we just need to.
So we just need to do his part.
Did we, I'm sorry, did you guys already review his edits, their edits? Okay, so
Yeah, I think, was it about 2 months ago? maybe? I was here 2 months
I
ago.
think I was on that meeting. If you guys are prepared to go into voting, then I'd abstain from that because I wasn't present, but I wouldn't be opposed to voting on that so that we have those adopted.
Was it sent by email or does anybody remember how that was communicated to the board?
I don't remember.
I think you brought it to me.
That might be something we have to take.
Yeah, let's see if we can pull it.
Yeah, we
email it,
might.
and-
Will you
Take-
have those edits?
Take that,
Yeah, I
take that
Okay.
next month.
So I guess maybe just
If
if
you
you
just want me
could
to bring them,
Yeah.
let me
bring 'em-
I'll email them and then
Make that agenda item for next month
Yes.
and make that one of our high important agenda item, get that knocked out. I guess that's it as far as new business. Let's jump real quick before we go ahead, and I'll go after you, sir.
I'm so sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Given that there have been some changes to the board, and with us no longer having a vice chair, I wasn't sure if it would be appropriate to make a motion to, I'll just make a motion. I make a motion to add an unlisted agenda item to the agenda tonight as 3.F for I'm so tired, y'all.
To elect a vice chair.
So that was the point I was
Oh,
gonna make.
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
knew you were gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
To
Go ahead,
to
you go ahead and do
move
that.
into elections for all three positions, unless, I don't,
We voted on you guys recently.
less, like,
Summer.
It wasn't that long ago.
July.
So we got until July.
Wasn't that? Yeah, you guys are here till July.
I'd like
Yep.
to at least the secretary.
It's actually, I looked it up and it's not. It's actually July of 27. And so we do have to replace the vice chair. And that replacement, when we elect that replacement, it will be until July of 27.
Great. So,
I'm gonna ask, I mean, I looked at it too. I'm reading section 2.10.060. Says honor before July 1 of each year. Am I missing something there? It said the board shall meet and organize its membership by electing a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and a secretary. The terms of such offices shall be for a period not to exceed 2 years. So that's probably where you're coming up with that. And what you're saying is we did it in 25.
We
That
did
sounds
do-
right.
that is right.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I think,
just-
I get your point there, yeah.
Well, and I'm sorry, I just am going by what Shanita told me.
You're right. And I'm not saying you're wrong, I just.
And that's probably a good point. We probably should elect them and also determine their term. Like, do they get a 1-year term or a 2-year?
The terms are preset at 2 years, I guess, is what.
Well, it said they can't serve more than 2 years. The way and
Whenever we
Jennifer's
say
not
2
here.
years, that's what we mean. When we say 2 years, that it will say not more than 2 years.
Hmm.
That's what we mean when we say 2 years.
Huh.
We mean not more than 2 years.
I guess my only argument with that is I think that at any time we're probably.
Change.
So that needs an
Got
election
Jennifer
every
here, I'm
year
not gonna
then?
say that.
Or no?
I'll let her, that's her call, not mine.
I mean, I do think we at least need a vice chair. And I guess the question is, Gregory, are you interested in being a vice chair?
Well, y'all sure took this one. 'Cause I sure had that thing all mapped out. Y'all go ahead and get
Oh,
this.
you already have my shot.
No, I did not. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna second the motion to put it on the agenda.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, there was a motion on the floor, so there was a second, and I just.
That is all in favor. We need to discuss
We
the
need to
motion,
vote
so
it.
we need to say
Vote on
yes.
whether we change the agenda.
Yeah,
What was
And add
the
this.
motion? for
the motion
Leo?
is to discuss board positions. That's broad enough to cover everything.
And that's my second. I'll second that. That was your motion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my second. So, take a vote, please.
Y'all sure?
Well,
We're
Yeah.
not with that.
Let's do it. So, all in favor of us, holding a vote or whatever the case may be for a vice chair? All in favor? Those who are opposed? Nobody's opposed.
Well,
Well, I think, just to be correct, will you entertain an amendment to discuss at least the positions of vice chair and secretary?
Vice chair and secretary, okay, good. You gonna give up the secretary?
I am, but he's asking you.
Well, I guess first of all, is that your motion? So that the motion.
Well, the motion on the floor is to discuss board positions, so that's the motion.
Let's do it. So we need to go back to the,
I think
We just need a
if everybody's
vote.
clear on it.
Yeah.
Let's just vote on that.
so all in favor of us discussing board positions, right? All in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, so discuss that. Anybody interested? My thoughts were going to be discuss it without making a motion, and then we talk about it next meeting. That was gonna be, to give everybody time to think, but we're jumping right into it, so let's jump into it at first.
Our
We like a
bylaws
lot.
do say we need to elect a position at the next meeting.
That was my thoughts. I just want us to talk about it so we can figure out, so nobody's jumping into it, you know,
But
but
being the first available meetings, that would be.
that'd be good. So, what are we thinking?
So you're saying we have to elect somebody tonight?
Yes, that is what the bylaws say, is my interpretation of the bylaws. I'm open to being wrong.
Let's start with, I mean, if we moved it all to all boards, does Greg have something that he wants to say? Does he want to be vice president?
But I believe Joe was raising his hand.
You gonna be the
No,
vice
that
chair?
was to dominate you. If you were interested in
Did you say no?
doing that as opposed to the current position, which I know you are, I think the other question we have to face is, the secretary job is a job, and it doesn't pay very well.
And so,
And
You're
so-
so good at it.
and
I
Josh,
hate
Josh,
to
I
see
think with your attention to detail, my friend, I think Josh will do a good job as secretary. I really do, not gonna lie.
I was gonna say Josh or Stephanie,
Or Miss Stephanie, yeah, Miss Stephanie, hey, which one of y'all want that job?
or, Josh or Stephanie is vice chair and one of the others is secretary too, I was gonna find my way out the door. but
It's not happening. What do you all think?
I'm certainly comfortable with that plan if we were to go that way.
Don't give him
And
the
I
easy
don't know
way
if
out.
Randy or any of the other folks are interested, they should sure let us know.
Speak up now.
And I do think Greg has paid his dues to the sense of that if he wants to move up to the vice chair position, I would be inclined to support that. And then obviously then find a new secretary.
Is there anybody else interested in any positions on the board?
Bottom rung.
I'm happy not
to-
be the position.
I would be open to either secretary or vice chair, whatever the board thinks is best.
The secretary seems like too much all the time, whereas vice chair seems like something it can be like staggered. And so I'd probably be more interested in vice chair than secretary after
Vice
seeing what
chair,
you said.
secretary.
How do you feel about it?
Do you
Would
want to be vice
rather
chair,
get
though?
Off the
I
executive
think
board, whatever you want to call it.
the beautiful thing about this board is that we have an opportunity for new people to join. That is my response to your question.
There you go.
Well, maybe we should just all have Stephanie and Josh talk about it. If not, cut cards, I don't know. You don't see me offer, I don't wanna, I like the position I'm in. And so if they're willing to do it, I think they've both shown a lot of interest in the board, a lot of effort on behalf of bringing new ideas as well as trying to help us stay on the right track. And so I think that would be,
If
And
Greg wants to be vice chair, that would be wonderful, and Josh can be secretary.
All right. Whatever y'all want, just.
I'll just say this,
Y'all wanna think about it until
I'm
next
not,
month?
opposed to being vice chair. Am opposed to staying as secretary. However, again, I was serious. I do want other people who may desire a position to also feel free.
No, that
This
I'm going to make a motion that we vote for Greg to be vice chair, co-chair, whatever the term is, and Josh to be secretary.
I would like to make a substitute motion, that Stephanie is vice chair and I will be secretary.
Is that for her to approve?
It's weird.
Well, I think we nominate individuals and they get to say whether or not they want that position. And they, then we can go to a second, but the person at least should say, yeah, I'll do it, right?
I do think the motion would have to fail though in order for us to.
So maybe I can withdraw, because we do have one position that we feel fairly comfortable with, so maybe we motion that the secretary be Josh.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm good with that.
So you withdrew your motion, however, his motion is still on the floor.
For you to be, and you,
You'd have to withdraw your motion,
Withdraw my motion. Okay, I will withdraw
I
my motion.
believe.
Okay, and,
Josh, what was your?
My motion was to nominate Stephanie to be vice chair and myself to be secretary, and it is now withdrawn.
good to go. So,
So the new motion on the floor is to nominate Josh as secretary to replace Gregory.
I second.
so are we, so, the motion, so are we gonna do we need to do actual vote?
I move
So-
for unanimous consent.
I think we do have to vote.
We have to vote, we can do it silently, or we can do it.
Can we do it this month? Have we decided that?
Well, I mean, so the other option is, that would probably follow the options, is Greg could say, I'm stepping down as secretary. That then opens the position, and then we do have to elect it. So that is always an option. Greg could relinquish the position, and then we do need to fill it.
We still have other members who are not here, right? That may be interested. I'm not putting that out, I'm putting that out. There's other members who are not here currently on tonight so I believe our best option is to
Next month.
put Josh as our secretary, because I don't think anybody else wants that except for him. And then, yeah, so. So if he steps down as secretary on tonight, then our next meeting, we will have to elect two individuals, vice chair and secretary, right?
Tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think we can do that by the bylaws.
We have to do the vice
In the
chair
sense
this
of
time.
doing it tonight?
I think if my reading was right, we have to elect empty positions, the meeting that they are empty, so we'd have to do the vice chair tonight.
We have had meetings where we had no elected officers, but it's up to you all. I am a rule breaker and I'm a rule follower, so however you wanna do it. I am who I am.
Where's the bylaws? It's not like-
Gotcha. Ordinance. I don't know about
Where
the
do you
bylaws.
read that in the bylaws, that they have to be filled at the next meeting?
You got a paper copy?
No, I don't.
I have the ordinance, I don't know.
It's not in that, it's in the, I'll pull it up. You know what, it seems like the consensus is to break the rule and push to next month, so let's just do that.
I'm fine
I
with
like it.
tonight.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario. she'll end up in jail, but don't
I
see
mean,
that working out.
I haven't stepped down as secretary yet, but there are some responsibilities that would need to be taken care of. So I mean, if Josh is volunteering and consensus, I'm okay with appointing Josh tonight as the secretary for these. for
But I
the
don't
sake-
think that's the position we have to fill tonight, by what he's saying, it's the other one.
Yeah.
I'm fine with filling both.
So are we all in agreement that we can handle this at our next meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody's okay with that? Got you. Appreciate it. Also, since Faith is no longer on our board, I do want to go on record at saying thank you to her for her steadfast service, her faithful service, and her willingness to serve this board and our city. We are thankful for her insight and for her willingness to go to battle for what she believes in. And so, her leaving the board, however, it was not by her desire, somebody was reappointed, but I do want to thank her for the service that she has rendered to our board. I want that noted. Anyone else want to share anything before we move forward? Everybody good?
That was very
That's
good.
good,
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Great, so we are down to our executive session. How much time do we need, sir? Board agenda, what board agenda? Oh, excuse me, you stay there. For our board agenda, for putting our board, agenda together for next month. We know we're gonna have, elections. We're gonna talk officers for next month. There's, the information from PPMC. So we're gonna discuss on next month. What other thing we have going on for next month?
Is there a case?
We have 15, so there will be a case that will be.
I don't care.
Anything else for our board agenda for next month that we're missing? we'll have election, we'll have, PPMC information, given to us. Whatever follows.
Is that traffic, when's traffic data? Is it
I
next
have
month
it.
or month after?
Yeah, I have it here. I brought it last month and didn't hand it out, so.
Okay, so,
So it's here, but it's current as of last month, so.
okay,
So then in to,
so we either need to do traffic this month or next month, because we're supposed to do it however periodically. So we can add that.
So it's not. We're gonna add traffic to our agenda tonight.
No, oh, you have it for tonight?
Oh, we're just gonna take the information and then talk
right,
about it next month.
totally up to you guys. It's here, we're gonna hand it out because I already had it from last month,
So let's do that. Let's take the information tonight, review it, and then that will be a agenda item.
Well, it should have been last month. So how long do you need to review that traffic?
I don't need any time. It's, if you guys just have questions on it, it's the same traffic,
So it may just be handed out and then,
If we have any questions next time.
yeah.
I think it's good.
I do like the map of the accidents and citations. It's interesting to see it visually.
We had 15 in the backlog, but we don't know, we can't see those. Cause unless,
So, last month, you guys had 7 technically on the agenda, we got to 1. We're doing one of those tonight, so there are still 5 that I already have wrote up and done from last month's agenda.
But are there any where the people are going to come?
have we sent out any invites to people? No, not.
There was one that I know that the people put on the draft day, and was there a follow-up?
I'm unsure which ones you're referring to.
And it was the number 1 on the list. And it was, number 1 on the list, and then so they moved up.
I think they, if I'm not mistaken, approved for us to discuss. Without them being present, I could be wrong.
So what we can do is that case, we can go back and contact them, and send them a letter, or whatever we need to do, and let them know we will be discussing their particular case at our next meeting.
Okay,
It's
so
not
I
like
can
the
get with
citizen
you,
is-
Greg, and we can go over which ones, but I'll have to know so I can.
So the one with the person that
The
was-
notes from last month just have 2, and it says only if citizen representatives are
They were
available.
gonna come last.
And 1 did not show up and 1 did.
Okay.
So it appears that 25 PSB 5971 did not need to be reviewed because the citizen did not show
Did
up.
not show up.
That list you have.
And there's some
is
note, and
still
I don't know why the
accurate.
note's on
The
there.
only thing
Only.
missing is-
We can still take that moment,
Other than that, the
contact the
information
citizens,
is
say, hey, we're going to be looking over the case next month.
Well,
And if they don't show up, we keep moving.
I believe I did contact all of the citizens, and that specific one
Yes.
stated that they were okay proceeding without
One showed up, one didn't show up.
being present.
Okay.
But I think we as the board do have to decide.
I think we need 3 or 4 secretaries.
Yeah.
Paid position.
That was just, these are my personal notes,
yeah.
like they didn't come.
Okay, so that's still pending.
And this is the one that got moved for next month, and these we didn't get to. These are the ones he said he still has sitting out available to
Which
come.
one did you say was moved to next month?
Well, it was from last month. The one we're doing tonight, the one that ends in 27, we're doing this month. And then Captain Cooley should have 25 PSB 2277 ready to go, 25 PSB 1600. And those he had prepared for and we didn't get to. And then from last month, we had 2, number 6 and 7. It says only if item 1 was not reviewed and only if item 2 was not reviewed. So it looks like 25 PSB 1486 needs to be reviewed.
25 PSB
486.
1486.
2 was last month, 4 is tonight, so 1, 3, 5, 6, 7 or,
And 7 says only if item 2 is not reviewed, but item 2 was reviewed. So I
yes,
think-
that was for the agenda last month, that, hey, if you guys didn't do 2, then we'll do 7, which we only got 1 anyway.
So will we be doing two cases or 3 cases?
I believe
I just.
Tanya has, Tanya has
just two.
communicated she only wanted to do no more than 2
What is it?
cases.
Oh, I said I think 7 or 5 was not
Way too much.
doable.
Yeah.
Which clearly
But, I
was the
mean, I don't want it
case.
just to be me, but,
No, that makes sense.
I feel
I'm
like-
just using words from the minutes.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like it would be,
Too much.
2 is, have we ever done more than 2? I don't know.
No.
No, well, I don't think we ever got through it, 1, 2, so why try?
I think the only thing was when we were trying to condense the list and kept
Yeah.
including provided that.
Yeah, and like we mentioned last week, the amount of work that had to go into these 7, we can't sustain me doing 2. It's pretty much the max with all the other duties for the research that has to go into these.
Great.
Yep.
Are we good with the agenda for now?
What did which one did you say, Joe? Which case did you? The next one?
Well, there were 3, 1, 277, and then 1600 and 1486.
And all 3 of those are on next month's agenda?
No, we're only doing 2. So we need to remove 1.
So on the priority, I would suggest we remove 25-1486. And then just do 25 PSB 2277 and 25 PSB 1600, which you're prepared for on both those for next month.
Yes.
Okay, so is that okay?
Perfect for me, sir. I couldn't have said that better. Good to go for the agenda, so we can jump into our executive session.
Let's do it.
All right, good to go. How much time, sir, do we need for this executive session?
25.
25 minutes.
Do you make a motion to go into executive session?
Yes, I'm about to. I just gotta calculate the time.
Well, it's almost 20, so just say, I mean, you could just say 45. It gives us 3 extra minutes.
We'll do it. I move
So
that
crazy.
the Citizen Review Board recess into executive session for 25 minutes to receive information on 25 PSB 2127 to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel and also to protect the rights and interests of identifiable individuals. Executive session will begin at 6:20 and we will resume that meeting at 6:45.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're in executive session.
That's fine.
Alright, you guys are live.
All got things to do.
All right, you all, let's call the meeting back to order. Coming out of executive session, upon review of 25 PSB 2127, we, the Citizen Review Board, find no need for additional actions at this time. All right, and now we move, before we adjourn, talk about the date of our next meeting. It's looking like May 22 of 2026, May the 22nd,
22nd or 21st?
21st.
Did I say, I'm sorry, y'all, 21st, y'all, 21st, May 21, May 21, 2026. Still at 5 o'clock for a good time for everybody?
28.
It says the 28th.
1, 2,
Or it should be
3,
four.
4. Hey, y'all, listen, I'm tired. My apologies. Let's go back. Our next meeting, we're looking at May the 28th, which is the fourth Thursday of May. Is 5 o'clock still a good time for everyone? 5 o'clock still a good time?
And per the schedule to be at City Hall.
Yeah.
City Hall. And per the schedule, we will be at City Hall. City Hall, okay.
Oh, what about parking? I do have a question about that.
There's still, I was there the other day, there's still, it's a pain in their butts. But I think we'll be okay. How's that? When I was there the other day, I paid to go to a meeting,
I think it's $1, but.
$1.35.
Do we have to pay $1.35 to volunteer?
No, we can validate here,
I want no tickets now.
At City Hall?
Yeah,
right?
they got rid of the gates, and now it's a, sorry.
Parking.
Oh,
We need to
it's a
validate
nightmare.
it, right?
Just don't back in.
Yeah. we
Don't
can
back in?
validate the department pays for it.
To any city like camping.
Well, what ticket do we?
Zach, say that
We're in the
again.
university lounge.
So for paid parking, we can validate you, but the department takes on the cost for whatever you guys put on the.
Yeah, but that, we'll pay for that.
So do we need to
So we
scan
do
it?
carpool?
So we have a couple
Something I do
options where
pay.
we can get you a code prior, or I guess, how do you wanna do it?
I want to get rid of those things
Yeah.
and go back to those.
So the only thing that they gave us was for you guys to get the app and or to get a paper, and when you go back, you key in whatever the code is for us that month.
Oh, I've got the app on my phone already from downtown parking.
Yeah, so you would key in the, enter your information on the app, and then you would just come and find me, and I would give you a code
So-
that you enter.
So before our next meeting, can we, on the email chain, can we send out the information of the website if we don't have it? And then the second part of that is we can send the code or whatever, it will just find you for the meeting. Great.
So we get the code while we're in the meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
'cause
then
I
you
don't-
can just put it into the.
Yeah, 'cause I don't need another ticket.
I don't need to spend 5 minutes
I
on
won't be happy.
it.
So if there be nothing else, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
All right, thank you all.
Any place they want to. And then now they want you to.